Good morning. I am Mark Sebastian. I am founder of OptionPit.com, and this is the AM Volatility Report. What's happening in the world? Well, we've got the Fed today, and everybody's got their eyes on the Fed. What are they going to do? What are they going to do? Well, this guy came in today. CPI came in negative today, and it's getting harder and harder for the Fed to justify that it should be changing rates. And, part of that is that, if they're really trying to fight inflation, right, deflation can be just as dangerous, and that CPI is borderline deflationary. So until we get wage growth and oil kind of finds a floor, it's going to be very difficult for the Fed to do anything with rates. Now the VIX, what a crazy close yesterday. Absolutely exploded high in the last few minutes with that market sell-off. We, of course, today have bounced through that. We're right back to kind of where we were, down a couple of points. It'll be interesting to see what drives the market today. If you watch the U.S. ruble trade, that's one that's been affecting the market. The oil trade has, USO is certainly not oil, but it's going to track it well. So if you take a look at a tick chart of it, I mean, it is lower, all right? But here's the good news. Oil is lower, and the S&P is up 13 points, all right? The two appear to be breaking up their correlation. All right, now, what does that mean? That means you can pay attention to one less thing when trying to figure out what the market's going to do. All right? Still have to pay attention to the ruble right now. You have to pay attention to interest rates. Pull up we pull up the TYX. It's got a that's not the right quote. If you pull up TLT, it's down a little bit today after getting really well bid, even though it's probably, whether or not they change their language, I don't think anybody can see them actually moving rates around. I think it's ridiculous. So what does that mean? I continue to think that, when these housing, if they want to sell housing on the cheap, but be my guest. Companies like USG, I'm looking as long-term option plays. XAP, which is the housing sector. Toll Brothers. I mean, it's going to take a little bit of time on these. They need to develop. All right. But, I think that is where there's some potential opportunity. All right. Other things to watch. One of the strange cases for Tesla is the high end is going to sell. The question is the lower end. And with gas prices here, it really depends where that price comes in at. So Tesla's an interesting one, but I'm not sure it's the million, billion, quadrillion dollar car company that everybody thought it was. And I've never thought that. That's why you do not become a fan of a stock. You become a trader or investor in a stock. Apple, I think, has actually gotten a little overbaked. I don't understand why they took it down this quick, but they did. Facebook getting a nice recovery. Facebook has been amazingly solid during this market rout, which tells me that, on rallies, it's going to do really well, and on sell-offs, it's probably not going to participate as much. Those are the companies the types of companies I like to trade in. So watch for a potential Facebook move. Aside from that, obviously VIX Dece is now done, but the VIX is only down 60 cents, but they're with the GN future, which is now the front month future, trading 3.5 points below it. Look for it to potentially fold back on there. All right. On that note, I hope everybody has a great day, and I will talk to you soon. If you have questions about our services, you can email me, mark@optionpit.com. You can call me 888-TRADE-01. All right, everybody. Have a good one. Talk to you soon.